before deposit to your account. You just need to check what happens to your change in the saving account and checking account. But we say that this is special case, so it's most importantly we should be identified for any particular situation. Can we use this spatial equation? Because it's simple, so we always try to use this one. And the system can use this equation is called the conservative system. And now let's look at the conservative system. So here we call conservative system and non-conservative system. Of course, they're related to the conservative force and non-conservative force. But the relationship is quite subtle here, so you need to be careful with that. Okay. So if you look at the definition here is that the work, if you have a conservative system, then the work done by the non-conservative force will be zero. WNC equals to zero. This is the fundamental definition of the conservative system. And for non-conservative system, you will have some work done by the non-conservative force. So WNC equals will not be zero. So here the definition, you can see that first, it has nothing to do with the WC, the work done by the conservative force. You may or may not have it, it doesn't matter, okay? It wouldn't affect any judgment here. Secondly, it's not directly related to the force. It's related to the work done by this force. So you can see here, it says the work done by the non-conservative force is zero. So it just says the work done by the non-conservative force equals to zero. It didn't say you don't have non-conservative force. So from this definition, it's completely possible you may have the non-conservative force, but it's still conservative system. Okay? Is this clear enough? Because even though you may have some non-conservative force, if it's doing no work, it still satisfies the criterion of the conservative system. Okay. Of course, according to delta E equals to WNC, then you will see that for the conservative system, delta U E equals to zero. For non-conservative system, delta E equals to some non-zero value. Could be positive, could be negative. Okay. And example for the conservative system, now we're talking about the motion, the system. Free falling in the vacuum, has to be in the vacuum. If you don't have any air resistance, this is a conservative system because the only work you have here is the work done by the gravitational force. And the gravitational force is a conservative force, right? So WNC in this case equals to zero. You don't even have that non-conservative force. And one of the examples of the non-conservative system, moving on the frictional surface, then you are going to have frictional force. And this frictional force will do some work. So in that case, WNC is not zero. Okay? Okay, now to try to understand the difference between the conservative system and non-conservative system. Can you tell me, in the following system, the following system, is it conservative system, non-conservative system, or cannot be determined? First, A, a system with conservative force only. Okay, so it has to be a conservative system because you don't have non-conservative force, so there is no way you have the work done by the non-conservative force. You don't have the force, of course you have work. Now, a system with non-conservative force only. Is this conservative system, non-conservative system, or cannot be determined? kind of answer cannot be determined or non-conservative. Okay, the right answer is cannot be determined. Okay, so you have only conservative force, but this conservative force may not do work. If the conservative force wouldn't do any work, it still satisfies WNC is equal to 0. In this case, it's conservative force. If the conservative, in this case, it's conservative system. If the work, if the non-conservative force there doing some work, then WNC could be non-zero. So both cases are possible, right? So the key is not if you have the non-conservative force. The key is if the non-conservative force doing the work. Okay. In fact, we do have a situation where you have only the non-conservative force, but you don't do any work. In this case, in fact, that means that even the net work will be 0. It's possible. Okay. You may have 0 forces, but the net work is 0. Hmm? Okay. Think about okay. Think about if there is a ball is attached to a string, okay, and then you make it a circular motion. Suppose we have only this tension force. Tension force is non-conservative force, right? In this case, you have only one force, non-conservative. You don't have any other force. If we consider that you don't have any other force, you have only a tension force. Okay. In this case, the work done by the tension force is 0 if it's a circular motion. Can you see that? So it will make a uniform circular motion. The energy, in fact, is not changed because it keeps the same speed, right? So this case is corresponding to you have non-conservative force, but it's still conservative system. And by the way, can you see why sometimes the non-conservative force will not do the work? Because the force, in this case, perpendicular to the motion. Okay. So that's why I say this special case is quite important. Sometimes you have a force, but the force perpendicular to the motion, so it wouldn't do the work. Okay. Okay, so on the other hand, you can think about the frictional force. Whenever you have frictional force, it will definitely make the non-conservative system because frictional force itself is a non-conservative force. And the frictional force will always perpendicular, or not perpendicular, always in the same direction of the motion. So it always do work when you have motion. So it will make the non-conservative system. But sometimes, like in this case, even you do have the non-conservative force, you can still not say it's a non-conservative system. Any question here? Now, a system with both conservative force and non-conservative force, what do you have? Of course, it cannot be determined. You have both conservative force and non-conservative force. They may or may not doing work. So you have both situations. Okay.
So the last two cannot be determined?
Yes. The key here is to realize the difference between you have conservative force or you have the conservative force doing work. These two are quite different. Okay, in fact, this is what we already discussed. Can you give some example where you have non-conservative force but still system is still conservative force? I just give that example. Let's stop here.